Greetings, YouTube. Danny Staten here on the Daily Damn Blog. You know what time it is. I'm back with another comic book review. And this week I found a classic. Well, I found something. That's right. I found a number one new series, Barbarella, based on the original movie character from back in the day. Oh my God, I can't believe I found Barbarella. And it's a number one too. And wildly, and I mean crazy, believe it or not, this is a 2024 comic book. That's right. It's part of the new Barbarella series, carrying on the further adventures of our hero. Does anybody remember Barbarella or even know what I'm talking about? I bet Dave calls Barbarella the good stuff. I know everybody calls Barbarella the good stuff. I just don't think this cover looks nothing like Jane Fonda. I was a big Jane Fonda fan. Does anybody even remember Jane Fonda? Normally I would show a movie trailer right now, but I don't want to get a copyright claim. So now that I think it over, there might be something I can do.
In a distant future where violence has been completely eliminated and love dominates the galaxy, the space heroine Barbarella is tasked with tracking down Dr. Duran Duran, a rogue scientist who has built a superweapon called the Positronic Ray. In search of Duran Duran, Barbarella crash lands on the 16th planet of the Tau Ceti system, where she discovers a labyrinth where people are subjugated by the evil Black Queen. She breaks into the Black Queen's palace with the help of the blind angel Pygar, but before she can set things right, she is captured by none other than Duran Duran, who straps Barbarella to a machine that will pleasure her to death.
So I hope that was cool. Instead of a trailer, I let my friend E. Miguel, the Unapologetic geek who's got that really cool new book called Paradox out. You should check that out. I let him tell you about Barbarella instead of running the trailer. I'm trying to avoid the copyright issues this week. So let's bust Barbarella open and see how pink she is inside. Oh my God. Yeah, sadly, I never know what's going to come out my mouth. I am not going to reshoot that opening because of that remark, so live with it. Inside the front cover, we get some really cool Barbarella art. I'm digging this art. I'm digging this comic book so far, even though I don't think she looks much like Barbarella. So our comic book starts out somewhere in the distant future with Tank Girl blowing some stuff up with her incredible android-looking Star Wars weapon. And we won't see her again for a while, bet you. So in full censored panels brought to you by the Daily Damn Blog, you know it's a Barbarella comic book and it's starting out. No way a Barbarella comic book should start out with our Barbarella character bouncing around the bed with a blue man. That's right, I could make some Blue Man jokes, but I'm just going to let that go. And thanks to my friend Good Stuff Corey, who's a really nice guy, he'll help me censor certain parts of this comic book. I probably shouldn't show kiddies on YouTube, but right off the rip, does anybody think this don't look like Jane Fonda? This don't look like Barbarella. That bitch looks like Charlotte Flair. Am I tripping? That looks like Charlotte Flair. What? Snap, clap, bam, it's a movie. Well, put your clothes on and go home. Barbarella failed to notice as she was laying around with Blue Man, that horny devil, and his sidekick, Little Devil, was up there now making a movie of her banging Blue Man. And she's like, what is he doing here? Well, you on Vita Pleasure Planet, and you're on Vita Pleasure Planet. We stream love making live so everybody can watch. And she goes, I'm not down with that. I think I'm out of here, guys. And it's at this point we get a full two-page commercial. A two-page commercial to break the monotony, to break it up, because you may be getting a little too excited at this point. So we're going to give you the 2024 Thundercats Apex. That's right. Just like Barbarella in 2024. Thundercats came back too. Oh boy. Poof! The Marshmallow Man explodes into a pile of ectoplasmic goo in the beginning of this scene as Barbarella and the Horny Devil looks on. Horny Devil trying to talk Barbarella into another one of them movies for the shiny, glossy comic book planet. And this time he says, you should use the whip. And she takes the whip and she says, oh, them horny little devils want me to make a movie with some spanking and some yanking and a whip and a big ball like in Indiana Jones. This guy is truly the producer. His last name's Weinstein. Thank God, in full panels. Brought to you by the Daily Dan Blog. This one ain't too shiny and glossy. We see Buck Rogers in his space station, floating somewhere in the Crab Nebulae system. His only friend is his monitor, as he falls in love with Barbarella, watching Barbarella have sex on V-Vision from the V-Planet of Pleasure. He talks to his friend in engineering and says, fire up the engines. We're headed to the V-Planet. Him and R2D-Nut are headed off to the V-Planet to track down Barbarella so he can have some of that good stuff he saw Blue Man getting. Blue Man's having an ectoplasmic breakdown as Barbarella runs down the tunnel being chased by a rock like Indiana Jones in that really bad movie. But I think she's going to use this scene that she's supposed to be shooting to make a great escape. And more full panels brought to you by the Daily Dan Blog. It's so exciting as Barbarella uses the whip like Indiana Jones. Wah, wah. I see some inspiration in that one. And she escapes into the lake, into the river, and down the river, past the kumquats. Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. As she floats away. And as she floats away, we couldn't resist taking this opportunity for more commercials. What kind of comic book am I reading? Should have known. That'll teach me not to look at the comic book companies. If I'd looked at the comic book companies, I'd have realized I was going through a Dynamite comic book. It says a commercial for whatever, and the blue heck, these little nasty looking things are that I've never heard of, but it also has some really cool Vampirella. I dig Vampirella. Every time I put up a Vampirella comic book review, I have issues. Well, I wonder if Dave's calling this the good stuff. I guess now's as good a time as any for me to run through my little shout-outs real quick. It won't take but a minute. Bear with me as I give a special shout-out to Dave Sunstorm and his incredible brother, Steven Sunstorm. You know, the Good Stuff Brothers here on YouTube. And my good friend, Pat McCormick. Pat McCormick at the Golden Rage of TV. Thank you for letting me use the theme for my show back last year. I really appreciate it. I may be starting my show pretty soon. Oh, you never know. A special shout out to Thrash Pondo Ponds, my co-host in action on our Sunday afternoon shows on his channel and my Block Sarah's channel. We'll be returning in 2 weeks now, so stay tuned for our next show, World of Thrash and Dan Save the World. A big shout out to BBB, Brainbenders Banners. You can see me there on Saturday nights, and a shout out to my friend Corey at Corey's Comedy Channel. That's right, Corey, the good stuff guy, the cleanest guy on YouTube, the only YouTuber with business cards. And I'd love to give a shout out to Bigfoot Michigan Rob, BMR Rob. You know, he's a good author too, just like Tug, the Unapologetic Geek. And a shout out to all my other cohorts like BK on the Air, Big Guys 45s. My flock is ever worse, Sarah. You know I love that girl. The Nostalgic Pod Blast Chats, Retro Nerd Girl, AAV Homestead, AA Paper Life, The Life Inside in this channel, as well as Gypsy Road Eric, who's now Supernatural Crossroads. Well, if he's ever coming back around. And with that being out of the way, we shall finish Barbarella, the nightmare of the century, as the kumquats turn into dagger-throwing demons and try to eat Barbarella. We all kind of want to eat Barbarella, even though she looks like Charlotte Flair. I'm not kidding that. I'm not joking that. You can't tell me she does not more like Charlotte Flair than she does Barbarella. Let me know in the comments below if I'm right about that. As Barbarella makes her big escape, she escapes the kumquats and the dingle-does and whatever the hell that little thing is that's following her. Looks like some kind of muted dog. And of course, she pops up and winds up talking to a talking owl. Talking owl. Isle of Wisdom. Well, lucky for Barbarella, the Isle of Wisdom is really smart after all. That's right. He looks kind of made of metal, don't he? But he's not made of metal. He's a real owl, I think. I don't know. It might be a robot owl. Anyway, he's got a compass watch thing stuck to his groin, and Barbarella saves him by pulling the compass watch thing off his groin, which she quickly realizes is some kind of communication device, which allows her to talk to the owl, wonk, 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 part of the entertainment and communication system of the planet while we are on some super superior planet, says Charlotte Flair. And just real quickly, for those of you who do not think this looks more like Charlotte Flair in a red jumpsuit than Barbarella, check this out. Yeah, that's Charlotte Flair in a red jumpsuit. So you tell me, YouTube, let me know in the comments below. And the kicker is Snuffleupagus looking weird thing speaks and actually has stuff to say, even though I'm not really understanding about much wanting to escape. I thought they did escape. So as this nightmare wounds down, of course, some other goof on another planet somewhere with his superhero-looking whip-slinging, latex-wearing love girl, we're watching the broadcast too. And they want to track down Barbarella too, for some reason, even though this girl says she'll blow his head off. I suppose she'd probably be good at that. Anyway, her and this guy are going to have to hire a bounty hunter to track down Barbarella so they can bang that booty too. Oh my God. And this comic book wraps up as the next issue is premiered coming soon. The hunt for Barbarella, because we all want to bang that booty. That's right. They're hiring bounty hunters to go out into the world to find Barbarella so they can all bang that booty. Be sure to join us for our next exciting tale, The Love Bombing. Oh my God, I don't know if I'll ever see another Barbarella comic book, but I am so glad I got this one. It's funny, it's got a cool cover, even though Barbarella looks more like Charlotte Flair, and you know I'm telling the truth. You can pause it here, Marone, if you want to read this stupid stuff that Dynamite puts in the back of their comic books. I've yet to read anything Dynamite put in the back of one of their comic books. I'm not going to start today, but I will say, if I happen to see the Terminator issue 3 or 4 or 2 or 1, I'll probably pick up a Terminator comic book. As a matter of fact, somewhere in a box, I think I already have a Terminator comic book waiting to be reviewed. But I had never picked up no Sweetie, the Candy Vigilante. This is something I'd like to sink my teeth into. A little bit of Candy, the sweet Vigilante. Yeah, that just sounds cool. And you can't never go wrong with Barbarella, unless you show her naked booty in a comic book, and that'll get you a copyright strike. Swear! And it's with deep, deep sadness we report the passing of Dynamite artist, executive, and creator, John Cassidy. Rest in peace, John Cassidy. If I knew who you were, I had a clue who you were, you would probably be missed. And then we get the cover challenge where you can see all the really cool variants of the Barbarella covers. Where they all have Barbarella looking more like Charlotte Flair. It looks like a damn Charlotte Flair wrestling trading card. I swear to God it does. If they do a new Barbarella, they should just get Charlotte Flair to play the part, because she already looks like the bloody comic book. And the cover gallery continues. That's right, with more and more and more. Look at the anime version. Oh, God, try to skip that shit. And in the back, we get all the people we can blame for the glossy nightmare we have endured. Even though I didn't think this comic book was that bad, I did enjoy it, kind of in a sadistic, twisted way. And I'm a little disappointed that my arch nemesis, Duran Durant, didn't show up. Well, okay, and that's the way they wasted the back cover. And that's my look at Barbarella #1 from last year, 2024, the end of last year, December 2024. Barbarella hit the stands and nobody cared. I'm lucky I found a copy. I have now reviewed a Barbarella comic book. I dedicate this to Tug, the unapologetic geek, E. McGill, who has the new book called Paradox you should check out. And also you can see him doing the little intro in the beginning of this video. And you can see me on his shows sometimes on Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern. That's the Unapologetic Geek. And until next time, this is Danny Staten, here on the Daily Dan Blog. Be sure to like, subscribe, ring that stupid little bell. And blog over, dudes. Blog over.